Let me rewind a few weeks before the trash bag. My name's not important, but my reputation with my friends is. You know the type. The guys who love you but also love watching you suffer a little. We have this inside joke that I am cursed when it comes to dating. And honestly, they weren't totally wrong. I had just gotten out of a situationship that was so boring I almost fell asleep typing the text to end it. Before that, there was the girl who brought her mom to our first coffee date. And before that, the one who spent 45 minutes explaining why she thought the moon landing was filmed in a desert in Arizona. So yeah, my track record was trash. My friends, let's call them Dave and Mike, heard me complain about being single for the 100th time. But instead of helping, they got that evil look in their eyes. The one that says, we are about to ruin this guy's weekend. Dave came up with the plan. He said, hey man, I got you a blind date. She's a friend of a friend. Really weird, but you might like her. Meet us at that fancy steakhouse downtown on Friday. I was suspicious. Dave never sets me up with anyone good. Last time he set me up, the girl spent the whole night asking me for crypto advice. But he mentioned a free dinner. And I am a simple creature. You say steak, I say yes. What I didn't know was that Dave and Mike had posted an ad on a local classifieds website. Not a dating app. An ad. It said, and I quote, looking for a female prankster. Must be willing to wear something ridiculous. Free meal included. Goal, make our friend never trust us again. They found someone. Her name was Chloe. And according to their plan, she was supposed to be the worst date in human history. The kind of story you tell at a wedding to embarrass the groom. The kind that makes you delete the dating apps forever. The challenge for me was simple. I walked into that restaurant with zero hope. But the real problem started the second I saw her. See, the joke was supposed to be on me. But my brain didn't get the memo. Because when I walked to the table, I didn't see a joke. I saw a girl with messy hair, a ripped band t-shirt, and a plastic trash bag tied around her waist like a skirt. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "Don't ask about the bag." And I laughed. Not a fake polite laugh. A real one. The kind that hurts your stomach. Here is the problem with prank dates. They only work if the person getting pranked plays along with being embarrassed. But I wasn't embarrassed. I was intrigued. The challenge shifted. It wasn't about surviving a bad date anymore. It was about figuring out why this complete stranger in a garbage bag felt more real to me than anyone I had met in the last 3 years. That's the scary part of life, right? You plan for a disaster, and the universe hands you a mirror instead. So we ordered food. And I did what any normal guy would do. I asked about the bag. Chloe looked at me like she was deciding whether to run or commit to the bit. She said, "Your friends paid me $50 to wear this and act crazy. They wanted me to put ketchup on my steak and talk about my pet snake." I asked if she actually had a pet snake. She said no. I asked if she was going to put ketchup on the steak. She looked me in the eyes, picked up the ketchup bottle, and squeezed a perfect red smiley face onto her $50 ribeye. That was the moment the script broke. Dave and Mike were hiding in a booth across the restaurant, filming on their phones, waiting for me to get up and leave. But I didn't. Instead, I took out my phone and showed Chloe a picture of my dog wearing a Halloween costume. She showed me a video of her failing to skateboard. We started talking about why expensive steak is actually a scam. Then we argued about whether pineapple belongs on pizza. She said yes. I said no. We almost got kicked out for laughing too loud. The development here is important. Usually, when we go on dates, we wear masks. We say we like hiking even if we hate bugs. We say we love jazz even if it puts us to sleep. But Chloe couldn't wear a mask. She was literally wearing a trash bag. There was no pretending. She was weird, loud, and totally okay with looking stupid. And for some reason, that made me drop my own mask too. I told her I still sleep with a stuffed animal I got when I was 7. I told her I cry during animated movies. I told her my biggest fear isn't dying, it's dying bored. She didn't laugh at me. She high-fived me. Halfway through dinner, Dave sent me a text. It said, "Dude, just leave. The joke is over." She's not supposed to be nice. I read the text out loud to Chloe. She grabbed my phone and texted back. He's staying. Send more breadsticks. That was the moment I knew I was in trouble. Not bad trouble. The good kind. The kind that keeps you up at night thinking about someone's laugh. The climax didn't happen at the restaurant. It happened in the parking lot. After we finished eating, I walked her to her car. She had an old beat-up Honda Civic with a bumper sticker that said, "My other car is a broom." I know. Crazy, right? We stood there for like 10 seconds just looking at each other. And I realized something horrible. I didn't want the night to end. Not because I was lonely, but because being around her felt like drinking cold water on a hot day. Simple. Necessary. Then she did something I will never forget. She untied the trash bag from her waist, crumpled it into a ball, and handed it to me. She said, "Here, a souvenir. From the worst date your friends could afford." I asked her if she actually needed the $50 that bad. She got quiet for a second. And then she told me the truth. She wasn't just a random prankster. She had seen Dave's ad and replied because she was broke. Her cat had just needed surgery. She was behind on rent. And she figured, if she was going to have a terrible week, she might as well get a free steak out of it. But then she said this. She said, "You weren't supposed to be nice. You were supposed to get mad and leave. But you asked about my life. You made me forget I was wearing trash." Right there, in a dirty parking lot, under a flickering streetlight. I did something I had never done on a first date. I told her the truth about everything. That I was scared I would end up alone. That I pretended to be confident but actually just copied things I saw on the internet. That I had no idea what I was doing with my life. She didn't run. She grabbed my hand, squeezed it, and said, "Good. Me neither." Then she got in her car, rolled down the window, and yelled, "Text me when you figure out pineapple is great on pizza." And she drove away. That was the climax. Not a kiss. Not a confession of love. Just two broken people realizing they didn't have to pretend anymore. That is the moment my whole life changed. Because for the first time, I wasn't trying to impress someone. I was just trying to be someone worth knowing. So what happened after? I texted her the next morning. She replied with a picture of her cat wearing a tiny cowboy hat. We went on a real date 2 days later. No trash bags. No scripts. Just coffee and bad jokes. That was 3 years ago. We live together now. She still puts ketchup on weird things. I still sleep with the stuffed animal. And Dave and Mike. They were the best men at our wedding. They gave a speech about how their prank failed so hard it accidentally created a marriage. Life is funny like that. You spend so much time looking for the perfect person in the perfect place. But sometimes, the perfect person shows up in a garbage bag because her cat needed surgery. The lesson here isn't that pranks work. The lesson is that real connection happens when you stop performing and start paying attention. Chloe didn't change my life because she was magical. She changed it because she was real. And I was finally ready to be real back. So if you take one thing from this story, let it be this. Next time life hands you a joke date, stay for the dessert. You never know who might be sitting across from you, waiting to hand you a crumpled trash bag and a brand new beginning.